Welcome to my channel, Polymath. Do you often feel like there's not enough time? Do you find yourself procrastinating and leaving things until the last minute, causing a lot of distress? Why do we tend to procrastinate, and how can we improve this habit? Today, let's talk about procrastination. Have you ever had the experience of not studying for an exam until the night before, staying up late to cram? Or perhaps you've procrastinated on creating a presentation for a meeting and ended up rushed and delivering a messy report. Procrastination often has negative effects on individuals, such as feelings of anguish, regret, and self-blame. It can also lead to worsening of situations and the emergence of additional problems. Today, we'll discuss the underlying personality traits that may contribute to habitual procrastination, as well as some useful tools to help us overcome it. Do you often find yourself putting things off? There's actually a slight difference between intentionally delaying tasks for later and true procrastination. If you plan to postpone tasks because of a lack of time, it may not necessarily be procrastination. However, if you consistently find yourself constantly delaying tasks and experiencing inner restlessness and distress, then it may be a genuine procrastination problem. So why do some people still habitually procrastinate despite feeling miserable about it? The author of the book suggests that procrastination may stem from feeling fear towards certain things or situations, which can be categorized into 5 types. The first type is fear of failure. People in this category are primarily concerned about discovering their inadequacies. By procrastinating and leaving very little time to complete tasks, they can use the excuse of not enough time to comfort themselves even if the results are subpar. It becomes a way to avoid blaming their abilities. The second type is fear of success. Individuals in this category worry that success will bring negative consequences, such as jealousy from others or being socially excluded. Consequently, they procrastinate on pursuing activities that would lead to personal success in order to avoid potential harm. The third type is rebellion against authority. These individuals dislike being told what to do by others. As a result, they find various ways to procrastinate when faced with tasks that require compliance. This allows them to regain a sense of control and autonomy. The fourth type is fear of separation. They crave companionship and someone to be with them. Thus, when confronted with tasks that require independent problem solving, they procrastinate. By letting things deteriorate to a certain extent, someone often comes to their rescue, providing assistance and companionship. The fifth type is fear of intimacy. Mainly, they are afraid that getting too close to others will make them feel uncomfortable or awkward. Therefore, they procrastinate on tasks that involve building closer relationships. For example, they may refuse to collaborate on group projects or continuously avoid pursuing new romantic relationships. These 5 types represent the procrastination personality traits mentioned by the author. If you tend to procrastinate, you can reflect on what you might be afraid of. In fact, fears, values, beliefs, and attitudes are all influenced by your family background and upbringing. In other words, your procrastination habits may also be related to how your family treated you. How can family relationships contribute to a tendency to procrastinate? There are various factors that contribute to procrastination, and one of them is family relationships. For example, if your family has a tendency to pressure you, they may excessively demand perfection from you, to the extent that you may feel that if you're not the best, you have no value. When you develop this thinking pattern, whenever you feel that you can't achieve the perfect state you imagined for a task, you won't complete it. Although this may make you feel that someday you'll be able to do it perfectly, the result is constant procrastination. Another example is if your family has a tendency to control you. For instance, if your parents always make decisions for you and you feel that everything is controlled, you may develop a mindset of resistance. However, when you realize that directly confronting your parents may involve high risks of conflict, you may resort to procrastination as a way to display your rebellious attitude towards their demands. In other words, the interaction patterns within your family may secretly shape your procrastination tendencies. Therefore, when you notice that you have a habit of procrastination, you don't have to be too hard on yourself. After all, our various behavioral patterns may come from complex reasons. Understanding these reasons can help us gain a new perspective and prepare ourselves mentally to find suitable solutions. However, of course, the reasons for procrastination can also stem from uncontrollable physiological factors such as depression or attention deficit disorder. If you encounter such situations, seeking professional medical assistance may be necessary. Now that we have a better understanding of the underlying thoughts and reasons behind procrastination, let's explore the specific techniques proposed by the author of this book to help us overcome procrastination. Strategy 1. Break down task goals into actionable steps. The author mentions that lack of confidence in one's ability to succeed is one of the main factors that contribute to procrastination. Therefore, we need to help ourselves build confidence in achieving our goals. One method is to break down task goals into specific actionable steps so that you can gradually accomplish them step by step. Many people, when faced with a task, tend to look at a vague or distant goal and don't know where to start. The author uses writing this book as an example. If the work goal is directly set as writing a book, it can feel overwhelming and it's unclear how to begin. However, if you narrow down the goal to working on one chapter at a time or spending 2 hours today writing a specific section of a chapter, it becomes a reasonable and achievable task step. This makes it easier for us to proceed with the work. However, even though you've set more specific, smaller goals for yourself, there's still a possibility that you may end up spending 1 or 2 hours on it, making it feel burdensome. Therefore, the author suggests that when starting a task, you can first identify a small action that can be completed within a few minutes and prioritize completing that. This way, you can establish a sense of accomplishment and a clear awareness of task progress right from the beginning. This can help you gain more confidence in carrying out the task. However, sometimes it's still challenging to overcome procrastination on your own, so you can also try utilizing external resources to help yourself. Strategy 2. Harness external forces to increase motivation. In reality, some tasks are not as difficult as you imagine. They are more related to your inner fears and anxieties, which make you develop aversion towards the tasks. So, you need to make tasks that seem unpleasant more approachable. In this regard, finding a partner is a good method. For example, you can find a companion to do a tedious task together with you. Having a partner can make you feel less lonely, and you can also utilize them to monitor your work progress. The author mentions a case where a group of people dislike doing taxes. So, every March, they would organize a gathering where everyone brings their laptops and boxes filled with receipts, checks, and documents. They start complaining while doing their taxes, and unconsciously, they manage to get the unpleasant task done. Another method is making a public commitment. You can publicly announce to everyone what you intend to do and when you plan to complete it. This public declaration can make you take your goals more seriously and be more committed to them. Furthermore, if people around you are aware of your goals and plans, they might help supervise you in fulfilling your commitments. For example, when you declare to your family and friends that you want to lose 5 kilograms, they can timely prevent you from eating desserts after meals. The author also shares about a website called Stick, which allows you to make public commitments and even bet money on whether you can achieve your goals. If you succeed, you can get your money back, but if you fail, the website will donate the money to charity. These are ways of harnessing external resources to increase your motivation and action-taking ability. However, if you find these methods cumbersome or prefer to have less interaction with others, you can still rely on yourself to build the motivation to accomplish your goals. Strategy 3. Set rewards for yourself. Procrastinators often hesitate to enjoy themselves due to feelings of guilt. However, providing yourself with appropriate rewards can actually motivate you to continue and complete tasks. You can set any enjoyable activity as a reward, such as watching a movie, reading a novel, or planning a weekend hiking trip, among others. However, the author also advises that it's best to give yourself the reward immediately after completing the task. This allows us to immediately experience positive reinforcement. At this moment, the brain releases dopamine, making us feel good and starting to connect the neural networks responsible for completing the task. This way, you are more likely to repeat the behavior of task completion and establish a positive cycle. Strategy 4. Utilize the Swiss cheese time management method. The author also mentions the Swiss cheese time management method as a way to effectively utilize fragmented time to make progress on tasks. The core concept of this method is not to wait for long blocks of free time to get things done, but rather to make use of various small pockets of time. By doing a little here and a little there, you can unconsciously complete tasks. It's like poking many holes in a big task and using the scattered moments of time to address those holes. For example, if you estimate that a task will take 10 hours to complete, don't wait for a 10-hour block of free time to do it. Instead, see if you can break it down into many short, manageable actions. Then, whenever you come across pockets of free time in your daily life, utilize them to work on those actions. The benefit of using this time management method is that the execution time for each task is short, such as 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or even 1 minute. As a result, you won't feel like the task is never-ending or filled with agony. Moreover, since you autonomously decide to dedicate only a few minutes to a specific small task, you'll feel more in control of your life and time. My perspective. Today, we discuss the issue of procrastination through the book The Psychology of Procrastination. Our intention was to help everyone improve their procrastination habits. However, due to time constraints, we could only share a few sporadic strategies and methods. The book actually covers many other coping mechanisms. If you're serious about overcoming procrastination, we highly recommend seeking out this book for further insights. Based on our experience and observations, many people tend to procrastinate on tasks that are important but not urgent. Since these types of tasks don't have immediate deadlines, we often leave them untouched until they become important and urgent as the deadline approaches. For example, a teacher might provide the final assignment topic during midterm, and if we can prepare steadily, the end of the semester won't be a chaotic rush to complete various assignments. Additionally, there are important but not urgent matters that require consistent effort and perseverance, such as maintaining a healthy exercise routine or lifestyle. If you continually neglect these activities, they can eventually become important and urgent problems when your health suffers. Therefore, consciously pushing forward with important but not urgent tasks in life can prevent your life from constantly descending into chaos. Lastly, the planner we mentioned earlier wanted to share his practical experience. He finds it helpful to tell himself focus for 15 minutes every time he starts a task. Since he anticipates it will end quickly, his brain is less resistant. Once his body enters a working state, he can better continue with the next 15 minutes of task execution. We highly recommend giving this method a try in overcoming procrastination. Alright, to wrap up, we'd like to ask you one last thing. If you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to share it and spread the word about how to overcome your procrastination habits to help more people.